Alright, so we also can do something, powers of products and quotients. Okay, so product means what? Multiplied. So suppose I have x, y, they're multiplied together, and then I want to take this to some power. Okay, the rule is you can sort of think about it as distributing, but this is just going to be x to the n times y to the n. Or we could write it x to the n, y to the n. This is a power of this product. So then what's the other one? The power of a quotient. What's a quotient? Dividing. Suppose I have x over y to the n power. What is that going to be equal to? X to the n over y to the n. Okay. So those are your rules. And they're easy to prove. Let's just look at why this actually works. Suppose I have xy cubed. What does that mean by the definition of the exponent? xy times xy times xy. Right? Here I can drop the parentheses and I can write xy, xy, xy. Now what do we know about multiplication? Can I switch the order and it's still the same, right? So I can rewrite this as x, 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 y, y, y. Just put all my x's in front and all my y's in the back. And then what is this x times x times x? X cubed, and this is y cubed. You can actually kind of figure these out on your own just by always going back to the definition. Anybody have any questions on that? Do one more example. This is an example. Let's do this one. X squared times y, all raised to the third power. So now I'm going to be using a couple of rules here at the same time. So first, use my power of a product rule. So what is this a product of, by the way? So this is x squared times y. So this is x squared to the third power times y to the third power. And then what is x squared to the third power? X to the sixth. Y cubed. What rule am I using here for the x squared raised to the third power? That is, I'm using the power rule. X squared to the third power, I multiply the two exponents. Any questions? Do one more example. They're going to get a little bit more complicated. Let's do 2y to the fourth, all raised to the fifth power. So what is this a product of? 2 and y to the fourth, right? So using my rule, what is this going to be? 2 to the fifth power times y to the fourth, and then that's going to be raised to the fifth power. Everybody okay? What is 2 to the fifth? Does anyone know? You should know your powers of 2 and powers of 10. How can you figure it out? 2 to the fifth is what? By definition, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. These 2's multiply to be 4 times 4 times 2. This is 16 times 2, so it's 32. Everyone follow what I did here? All I did was I wrote 2 to the 5th, and I used the definition of the exponent, the very first thing I did today. And I wrote it out, 2 times 2, 5 times. And then I simplified, this 2 times 2 was 4, this 2 times 2 was 4, and then I brought this 2 down. Well, 4 times 4 was, 4 times 4 is 16, still bringing this 2 down. 16 times 2 is 32. Okay, so you'll have to figure some of these out, multiply these out. So this is going to be 32, and what's y to the 4th raised to the 5th power? 32y to the 20th. We're done with that problem.